if you need interpreting devices, you can find them in the back. Si ocupa el servicio de interpretación, pueden obtener uno de la señorita que está funcionando como intérprete allá atrás. Vamos a empezar la junta. Madam Clerk, start the roll.
All right, Dr. Cadero Kaplan. She's here. Eva Pacheco. Here, she's here. Jose Preciado.
Jose Preciado's here, and Maxine's Maxine's here, all the way in the back, getting her interpretation materials. If I can call your attention, puedo invitarlos a ver la pantalla. Hay unos cambios en la agenda que vamos a anunciar. There are some changes on the agenda that we have to make. These are mostly errors, so I'm going to let the clerk introduce the agenda errors.
Thank you, President Preciado. There's a couple of typos. The agenda is for July 20th, and that's what you see in the back, and also what is linked on the virtual agenda. But the mistake was that we put July 29th for the minutes instead of June 29th for the minutes. So it was, we did make that correction virtually online. But if you have it on your physical copy, we just want to make a note that we did make those corrections before the meeting starts. Thank you.
I have two speakers on item number 2. Jesus Gastelo. The mic should be on over there. You have 3 minutes. Okay.
Let's see. So in looking at the agenda, actually, I didn't get a chance to look at the updated agenda, but just to confirm, we don't have a financial report as far as I understood. And let me see what else. And I guess my other question is, we're still not getting enough detail in the agenda items to be able to tell what exactly we're going to be discussing. So my request is that we get enough detail in those items. So specifically, so the vote for the trustees is one of the items. Executive director report is the other item that kind of comes to mind. So those are just 2 examples, but it's kind of a reoccurring thing that I've seen over the minutes and past agendas. So the other item is, as far as the minutes go here, I want to say thank you for having those in this, or within 1 month cycle. I know that's not typical, but...
Or possible, always.
Possible, or, but yes, I appreciate that. I think I saw Miss Shirley here over the weekend, so thank you. I'm not stalking you, actually nearby. So I appreciate that. But unfortunately, I did not have, since I didn't know we were voting on those, I did not have the appropriate time to really kind of go thoroughly through them. I did kind of scan through them and noticed some items that needed correction. So
you may introduce corrections to the minutes at the next meeting.
okay, perfect.
You have time.
Yeah, perfect. Okay, so then I won't ask for those to be delayed then. And let me see if I have anything else. Yeah, and the other kind of item that I saw missing is the principal report. We have not received a principal report in several months. So
when you finish your remarks, I'll comment. It's not intended to be a debate, but I'm just trying to help you.
Yeah, and I'm not expecting it to be.
Yeah.
So I'm
Okay.
the protocol, so I'm just,
Thank you.
providing my comments. Thank you.
And I believe Mrs. Gastelum is also speaking on item 2 on the agenda? If I'm not mistaken, that's what I have. Oh, wait a minute. So it said 2. Oh, it's general comments? Okay, we'll bring you up. So, we're gonna do a couple of things because there were some errors in our posting of the agenda. We actually, and I want to thank the extraordinary lady that's sitting over here. She worked diligent on getting those minutes done. And while it's always a goal to have minutes done at the next meeting, they're not required to be available. They need to be available and they need to be precise, as good as they are. And so hopefully we can provide you with direction. But today we're going to table them because we just posted the real posting of it, so you had to click on it to find out that it was the minutes. So we're going to delay that, but we are going to adopt the agenda. So today's agenda is as presented, and so I move approval of the agenda with the correction. The first correction is item 2 is adopting today's agenda for July 20th. And you'll note that the next item lists the minutes now, but the minutes became item C. I should put my glasses on because I can't see the numbers, and they don't reflect my paper copy. So, oh, there we go. So, item 2 is approval of the agenda, and then and that used to have an attachment that was actually the June 29 minutes. So what we're going to do is we're going to table. We're going to acknowledge we have them, but we're going to table discussion of the June 29, 2026 minutes until the next meeting. And so with those changes, I move approval of the agenda as presented, and with the corrections that I discussed. Do I have a second? So there's a second. Any further discussion on today's agenda? Excellent. Before we start general public comment, I'm going to take the time to read into the minutes. It's not intended to be, we're not preparing verbatim minutes. It's just not possible or human resource appropriate. So what we're going to do is do our very best to create an accounting of the minutes, and specifically action items and who made the motion and who seconded and how did the board vote, which is compliant. But it's very difficult. I don't know if you recall at our last meeting we had about 30 or 40 speakers. Each speaker spoke for 3 minutes, and to capture individual comments is not something we have an employee available to do. What we are going to be doing is we're going to post the entire recording of the meeting. And so you can hear the entire recording, but the minutes will not match word for word. It will be a substantive what word is it?
It's really a summary.
It's a summary of what happened in the meeting, and there are some items that need specific attention, like when we vote, and so those will be spelled out very clearly with who voted and who did not. Yes, Ms. Delgado.
To add to that, it's not just an audio recording that we're going to upload on our website. It's actually a audio recording. Right now, this meeting is being recorded. So just be aware that you're being recorded through the OWL. If everybody's familiar with the OWL, just say hi. So we will upload this recording in its entirety. It's beginning tomorrow. So I really want to acknowledge the work that Sherry Ruffin has done for so many years to create and capture the minutes. But I think it's about time we go into the 20th century and just have the recording. So if you want to see anyone in the board meeting, 21st century, no, I'd say 20th because, we're still behind, but 21st century But hopefully that'll help, A, transparency, those that can't be here, they'll be able to watch it at home. So I just wanted to clarify that it's not just an audio recording.
Okay. Who needs an agenda in Spanish? ¿Quién ocupa una agenda en español? Quiero afirmarles que, can we provide a Spanish agenda? There's a document or 2 or 3 paragraphs that we're going to read. We want to make sure you have them, and that poor interpreter, because the other thing, we're going to observe some rules about our interpreter. It's probably not possible to do 34 interpretations in a row, and so we might need to do some breaks. You have the document in English and Spanish, and so I'm making it available for everyone so that they can see it, and you can do your very best to interpret verbatim. So we are moving to the general public comments, the non-agenda items, and I'm going to read this. So I just feel it's very important that we start becoming familiar with the process of a meeting. This is an opportunity for members of our community to provide information and express their views on matters within EJE Academies jurisdiction that are not on the agenda. Public comment will also be invited on each specific agenda item prior to board action. So this is the discussion for our comprehension. So when you pull a slip, you can either ask to speak on the general agenda, general comments. Those items are not on the agenda. And if you're interested in speaking on an agenda item, then you indicate which specific agenda item that you want to speak on, and that we will invite you to comment on that in that order. Okay? The board carefully considers the comments it receives. Public comment is an opportunity for the board to listen to the community. It is not a question and answer session or a debate session. California law generally prohibits the board from discussing or deliberating on items that are not listed on the posted agenda. For this reason, the board will generally not respond to questions, engage in back and forth discussion, or take action on matters raised during the general public comment. The board appreciates your understanding as we comply with these legal requirements while ensuring that every speaker has an opportunity to be heard. And just for clarity, if you ever bring up an item because of your child, let's say your son or daughter experienced something, you do not need to identify your son or daughter. The principal or the executive director or another officer of the school will approach you to get specific information about your son or daughter so that that can be addressed. Your son and daughter's education is not a public information item, and this board is not going to have a discussion about your son or daughter specifically. What we will do is expect that the matter is addressed by the executive director or the principal, and if it appropriately rises to the attention of the board at a future meeting, it may be brought to the board. But we have delegated as a board our authority to the certificated personnel, the administrators specifically, who are part of our team. We do not have operational control here of the school. We are volunteers. We are members of the EJE Academy nonprofit organization. The El Cajon Valley School District granted this volunteer board, named each of us, the opportunity to have the charter for 5 more years. And we are also required to have discussions about anything that affects the school in these Brown Act meetings. So the Brown Act, you put in what you're going to discuss, and with all due respect, if materials are available at the time the agenda is prepared, they will be attached. They don't need to be attached in their entirety. Some stuff, believe it or not, is developed during the course of today. And so there's not an opportunity to do that, but the item is outlined, and that's the focal point of the discussion that usually addresses that. Now, I'm part of 4 or 5 other organizations. Some of them have 9 members, so they have 9 Sherrys. At City of Chula Vista, the Coastal Commission has 7 attorneys and 6 support clerks that prepare the. There is infrastructure you can build to make sure things happen, but it will require us to not use academic educational resources for the academic program to have a large administrative team to meet some of these things, and I am not supportive of that. Again, sometimes issues will come up and we will have the opportunity as a board to make a direct referral to the executive director to have somebody respond, especially if it addresses an individual student. But for now, I'm going to continue reading this document and make it available to all of you, right? So we're trying, while we encourage speakers to express their opinions, including criticisms, we ask that everyone do so in a manner that allows the board to conduct EJE's business efficiently and respectfully. The purpose of this meeting is for the board to complete the business of tonight's agenda in a public setting, while ensuring that every speaker has a fair opportunity to be heard. Speakers will receive 3 minutes to address the board. This time may be shortened in order to allow everyone to be able to address the board. Individuals who interrupt other speakers, refuse to stop when their time expired, engage in shouting or other conduct that prevents the meeting from proceeding or otherwise substantially disrupt the ordered conduct of the meeting will first be asked to stop the disruptive behavior. If the disruption continues after a warning, the individual may be directed to leave the meeting. If necessary to restore the order, the board may recess the meeting to take care of actions authorized by law. We appreciate everyone's cooperation in helping us conduct the meeting where all viewpoints may be expressed and all EJE business may be completed in an orderly and lawful and respectful manner. And at this time, I do want to address something that I've been hearing for the last few weeks. I changed the order of the agenda last month, and I changed it because before the meeting ended that day, we needed to pass the LCAP and pass the budget. Those were the 2 most important items of business that needed to occur, and I wanted a full board here. And one of my board members was going to leave. No fault. Everybody, we all have personal lives, we have to tend to them. But in order to achieve that, I moved things out of order. Now, as soon as we voted on those 2 items, I changed the order of the agenda. I'm the presiding officer of the meeting, so I have discretion to make changes sometimes. And so I changed it at that time in response to public interest in having those public comments. And so my hope is that, I hope our meetings are a couple of hours every time we meet, because all of us work a full day and we came in the afternoon. But to the extent that we can, we're here. I particularly enjoy being part of this community and will continue to be a positive contributor to the extent that I can. Having said that, we are now going to go to general public comment. And I have names that I'm going to call out. If you believe you wanted to speak during general public comment and I don't call your name, say, Jose, you didn't find my slip, because I tried to do general public comment. And today we can accommodate that. So I'm gonna actually find the list and see where they all went. 1 second, please. Okay, so Irma Garcia. Irma Garcia, y el micrófono, the microphone is right there for you. Yeah. There you go. Sí, sí se escucha.
Buenas tardes, miembros de la mesa directiva. Mi nombre es Irma García. Estoy aquí para solicitar transparencia y una comunicación clara respecto a la información que ha circulado sobre las condiciones de seguridad del nuevo edificio escolar y los reportes que podría existir un proceso legal relacionado con este asunto. Como padre de familia, confío diariamente a esta institución lo más importante para mí, que es mi hijo. Por esa razón, creo que cualquier información relacionada con la salud, seguridad o bienestar de los estudiantes debe ser compartida de manera oportuna, clara y equitativa con toda la comunidad escolar. Mi preocupación no se centra únicamente en el asunto en cuestión, sino también en la percepción de que no todas las familias han recibido la misma información. Cuando se trata de la seguridad de nuestros hijos, la transparencia no debe ser selectiva. Por ello, solicito respetuosamente que la mesa directiva informe oficialmente a toda la comunidad escolar sobre cualquier investigación, evaluación, estudio, reporte o proceso legal relacionado con las condiciones de seguridad del edificio. También solicitamos que se compartan los resultados de cualquier estudio o inspección realizada por expertos o autoridades competentes, que se expliquen claramente las medidas adoptadas para garantizar la seguridad de estudiantes y personal, y que se establezca un plan de comunicación transparente para mantener informadas a todas las familias. Quiero ser clara que mi objetivo no es generar alarma ni confrontación. Mi objetivo es fortalecer la confianza entre las familias y la escuela a través de la transparencia, la comunicación abierta y la rendición de cuentas. Como padre, necesito la tranquilidad de saber que mi hijo y todo el personal escolar se encuentra en un entorno seguro y que cualquier situación relevante será comunicada de manera oportuna y responsable. Agradezco su tiempo y esperamos una respuesta clara para toda la comunidad de EJE. Gracias.
Muchas gracias. Marilu Careno.
Muy buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Marilu Carreño. Mi pregunta es para la directora ejecutiva. Sé que se formó un comité para elegir a la nueva directora de la escuela, el cual estuvo conformado por varios grupos. El señor Omar Soriano, la señora Claudia Castellum, la maestra John, la maestra Sánchez y algunos miembros del personal. En la junta pasada del board me di cuenta que muchos de los padres, incluyéndome a mí, no estuvimos de acuerdo con el hecho de que ella no hablaba español. Por eso, quiero saber por qué el señor Omar, la señora Gastelum, la maestra Jones, la maestra Sánchez y los otros miembros del comité que se formó, quiero saber cuáles fueron sus necesidades, qué encontraron en ella, las necesidades de la maestra. O sea, si saben claramente que la escuela tiene necesidades de ser bilingüe, ¿qué fue lo que encontraron en la directora? ¿Sí? ¿Qué encontraron cuáles son las cualidades que encontraron en ella como directora? Y que si por favor a la directora les puede preguntar a ellos, nos puede informar cuáles fueron todas las cualidades que encontraron y por el cual ellas votaron por la nueva directora. Sabemos claramente que nosotros tenemos una escuela que es trilingüe, pero también sé que en esta escuela, ya cuando llegan a un cierto grado, que es el sexto, séptimo y octavo, ¿verdad? No necesariamente tiene que ser que estén hablando español al 100%. Se los digo por experiencia con mis hijas, cuando llegan a la high school, ya necesitan tener 100% inglés. Entonces, para mí, sé que es importante, pero también no es que sea lo principal de que sepa hablar español. Sé que entendí, tenía una molestia, ¿verdad? Y entendí ahora que el hablar español es importante, pero no es principal. Pero sí me gustaría que si les puede preguntar a ella cuál fue la razón por la cual votaron por ella, por favor. Gracias.
Thank you. So I'm Jason Romero, the Director of Human Resources here at EJE. So the past practice of our personnel decisions, we ask that there's confidentiality to sustain the integrity of the process. So the team that's put together goes through all the applicants' information, the interview, the questions. We offer opportunity for the parents, the teachers, the classified staff to all have a vote and a say in the decisions, but to actually keep the decisions and how we go about that confidential to ensure the integrity that things don't get lost out. That's not just an EJE practice, that's pretty standard for human resources in most organizations. So there are some obligations that we have to make sure that we're non-discriminatory, that we don't have things in place that promote discrimination based on gender, race, sexual orientation, and language. So all of those things are requirements that EJE holds and a standard that is the process in most school districts.
Señor, Mr. Jesús Pacheco.
Solamente que quiero terminar un tema que se trajo aquí a la mesa, la reunión pasada. Me faltó un poco de tiempo, pero lo quiero terminar. Y fue el tema de campers. Nosotros fuimos a campers las 2 veces, la primera en el 2005, y la razón que nos invitaron fue porque EJE fue aprobada en el 2005 y ellos estaban trabajando en el mismo tiempo, pero no eran aprobados. Entonces nos invitaron para, estaban un poco frustrados, ¿verdad? Porque el director
La intérprete no lo escucha, entonces.
¿Puedo empezar de nuevo?
Sí, cómo no.
Ahí está.
Restart is fine, so the interpreter has the ability to hear him. And this interpreter, you can yell.
I don't want to interrupt, because I want you to get closer.
I appreciate it. Right?
Muy bien. Solamente quiero terminar el tema que se trajo aquí a la mesa. Se me mencionó, por eso lo quiero terminar. Nosotros fuimos a campus 2 veces. La primera fue en el 2005, porque nosotros teníamos ya la aprobación de EJE Academies para empezar en 2005-2006, y campus habíamos empezado juntos, pero ellos no les aprobaban. Y había un poco de frustración, tanto porque no era aprobada como porque el director que había empezado el proceso fue despedido por promover que la escuela pasara a ser una escuela charter. Y había esa situación en ese momento, nos invitan y nosotros vamos, desde luego, ¿ya? Y nosotros manifestamos a ellos que ciertamente que nos habían aprobado, pero que no fue un proceso tan corto, porque nosotros teníamos 14 años haciendo abogacía aquí en el distrito y fuera del distrito por educación de calidad, particularmente incluyendo educación bilingüe de calidad para los niños de las escuelas de bajos recursos. Ese era nuestro enfoque, nuestro niño, nuestra comunidad, ¿verdad? Entonces, a través de ese proceso de 14 años, nosotros abogamos con todo el énfasis y con todo el vigor posible, ¿verdad? Nos educamos y a través de esa educación información que se nos proporcionó el mismo el distrito. Fuimos a conferencias, a talleres, con CABE, con NAVE, etcétera, etcétera, ¿verdad? Y aprendimos a abogar, ¿verdad? Aprendimos a abogar con persistencia, pero con respeto, ¿verdad? Y eso nos llevó a que nos ganáramos esa autoridad moral, que el distrito nos aprobó la charter, no por una experiencia de un año, les explicamos, es un largo proceso, pero ustedes, ¿verdad?, si persisten y con respeto, les van a aprobar la charter, ¿verdad? Ese era nuestro mensaje. Y efectivamente, Frankfurt fue aprobada poco tiempo después, y el director que estaba despedido fue recontratado y encabezó el proceso para establecer la charter. ¿Cómo está el tiempo?
Me quedan 15 segundos.
Sí, okay. Y la siguiente vez que nos invitaron fue en el 2017. En el 2017 ya la escuela estaba en muchas mejores condiciones, pero nos encontramos con que había mucha tensión era el proceso para la unión. ¿Puedo terminar? Unos par de minutos. Digo,
No, son 3 minutos. A todos los atendemos igual.
termino lo siguiente.
Pues puede ser, acabo de ver The Odyssey y duró mucho tiempo.
Termino lo siguiente.
Violeta.
Hello. Good evening, member of the board. My name is Violet, and I'm speaking tonight on behalf of a coalition of concerned parents and teachers of EJE. We are here not to tear down the school. We are here to fight for its original mission, to serve our community. In recent years, the board has treated us like liabilities to manage, not vital partners holding the heart of the school. We are here tonight to reclaim that partnership. We address the crisis that can no longer be met with silence. The immediate physical safety of our middle school students. It is public knowledge, documented in EJE's own lawsuit, that the new secondary building was constructed at neglected distance from 69 high voltage power lines, violating California Department of Education standards. Classrooms now face dangerously high radiation levels while our children are educated inside them right now. We demand an immediate independent second opinion and a full safety assessment. We will not jeopardize our children's health. A board that will not protect its students cannot lead them. We demand a full reconstruction of the board of directors, returning to its founding principles by permanently adding 1 parent seat and 1 teacher seat. Furthermore, we call for an immediate removal of council member Jose Preciado. He has failed basic ethics of transparency, does not respect parents' input, and holds no legitimate reason to be on the board. Leadership defined by political favoritism and intimidation must end. We stand in full solidarity with our teachers who face staffing cuts that directly harm the quality of our children's education. Additionally, 90% of EJE's families are Hispanic, yet we are operating under a director who is not bilingual. This is a direct failure to serve our community needs. We demand the hiring of a true bilingual leader. Tonight, many parents and teachers gathered in protest outside of EJE. We want you to know that we are organized, we are unified, and done with ignorance. We demand transparency, physical safety, and a board that truly represents this community. Thank you.
Sandy Benitez, Sandy Benitez. Jesus, how did you fall from like top of the list?
You're probably confused with two Jesus's.
I'm coming
Bueno.
back. That's
No.
the guy.
Ahí-
You'll get it, your turn.
Oh,
¿Sí
no.
se escucha?
Sí, sí.
Ok, buenas tardes, mi nombre es Sandy Benítez. Hace unos meses la Ejecutiva Griselda mandó un reporte que en el 2023-2024 a los maestros se les dio un 7% de lo que entiendo que fue un bono. Quiero que eso quede un poco claro porque ha habido un statement del
Este stipend
7%.
lo contrario de un aumento de sueldo, en realidad fue como un bonus de una vez que se agregó a la compensación,
Ok,
pero no
entonces-
parte del sueldo.
Ajá, se encontró que se les dio en el 2023-2024 uno del 7% y en el 2024-2025 se les entregó otro del 14%. Si los maestros recibieron este stipend, ¿por qué están pidiendo otra vez ese 21%? No me queda muy claro, quisiera saber por qué. Entonces, también mi pregunta es, ¿de dónde salió ese dinero? Por lo que no se o qué fue lo que se reportó y no se informó a ninguno de nosotros de dónde se reportó ese fondo. Hoy por la tarde la directora ejecutiva volvió a mandar otro reporte. La junta pasada y todas las juntas que ha habido con los maestros, ellos están pidiendo que ustedes actúen de buena fe y en eso estoy de acuerdo. En esta información que la maestra nos acaba de mandar, la escuela ofreció el 10.2% de salario y en el reporte dice que ellos lo rechazaron. Mi pregunta es, ese 10.2% ¿de dónde tendría que salir? ¿Qué ajustes tendría que haber en la escuela? ¿O qué se tendría que recortar para que a ellos se les pudiera dar ese 10.2% que ellos no quisieron recibir?
Jesús Castelo.
So, first I want to acknowledge the agenda, that the agenda was posted on time and both in English and Spanish, so thank you for that. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing that as part of the agenda agenda template moving forward. What concerns me is not seeing the linked reports and presentations and the descriptions, which continues to be kind of a continuing theme or pattern. Even if not intentional, it still gives the wrong perception, we'll call it. So my request is this: adopt the board policy within 60 days as to how the agenda meeting material needs to be prepared, which would include agenda content, agenda preparation, consent agenda calendar, agenda dissemination to board members, agenda dissemination to members of the public. Second, adopt a communication policy within 60 days that establishes expectations on how and when communication will be received regarding to school events, parent committees, committee meetings, board meetings, etc. This request stems from multiple concerns, not just from me, but from many others that I've spoken to, and shared receiving last-minute notifications of meetings within hours, and no notifications at all. Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Claudia Rios.
Thank you. My name is Claudia Rios Castelum, and I'm a parent of 2 students who will be starting here next year. I do want to, I agree with my husband, I appreciate the transparency in providing both the agenda and some of the reports in English and Spanish. it's wonderful to see. One of the things that I wanted to share was why I value being a parent from here and why I think it's so important to fight for the school. I have shared that my son comes to here. I have one who's starting in TK. My oldest is autistic and he has a hard time communicating what happens in school, how things that are going on for him. So I depend and value when the staff communicates with me, when they communicate that there's going to be a field trip, that there's going to be a book fair, that there's meetings, because I do not have the privilege of my child telling me when there's problems. My son experienced childhood things with his classmates for 2 months. He did not tell me. He told me in little ways, but he didn't want to speak up. And when he finally did, I had the ability to talk to the principal and ask for support, and Ms. Gonzalez did. It took my son 2 months of being scared to talk to his teacher, of being scared to bring it up to all the other special ed support staff. So that's why I value clear, transparent communication. So that's the same thing that I ask of the administration and of the staff. Because I do not have that privilege of my child being able to come and tell me that he needs support. So I need that communication from the top to the bottom. So when things aren't sent in time, when there's not communicated other than maybe a staff member saying, tell your parent, my child doesn't do that. So I ask for you, please look into creating a policy of communication across the board. Like my husband talked about, sending it, looking into, I know Mrs. Simba said that they were going to look into sending things by mail, sending things online, all the different ways, because I know that there's many people who want to be involved. We just need that access, and we don't have a way to do that. So I am thankful for all the things that have come, but one of the things that I do want to acknowledge, that part of my expectations are because I value and I depend on your support to be able to make my child and all of these children successful. So thank you.
So I think I can speak for the board. We will direct the executive director and the director of special ed and all the classroom personnel that support you and your family to meet. You don't need to report back to us. Just understand that we are making this direction. We are very proud of our accomplishments at the school in terms of hiring what we believe is the top personnel that can support your son or daughter. And I have full expectation that your generous narrative about your son is heard, and we will act on it. I don't think the board has a different expectation, so please feel that you've been heard.
Thank you.
Karea, how do you read that? Ms. Bona? Karen? Karen? I apologize.
That's fine.
I've been reading texts for a few years and my handwriting isn't. Can you tell us your name?
No, but yes, gladly I will. I think so. I think my voice carries when I'm not. Okay, good afternoon, everyone.
Do you please,
Do not disturb.
closer to the mic?
Yes, I will. Hold on, give me a second. Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. For those who don't know me, my name is Karen Borja. I'm the proud mother of 2 students, Borja, in our school and dedicated volunteer 5 years to the school. I want to wish a warm welcome to our new principal, Ms. Walker. Ms. Walker, my request for you this year is that you find a way to build trust at this school. Understandably, all you know about the school is probably negative, which is why they chose you to come here to try to make a change. But I want to let you know that prior to January 2025, this school felt like a family, a safe place, a place where you could speak freely. Shortly after April of 2025, the school has been flipped upside down, and there is no trust between parents and administrators and the board, the parents and the board. Clearly, help is needed, and it's hard to say you will help us because this board has created a reputation of destruction. However, as a parent, the most concerning is the safety of our students. Ms. Walker, I urge you to, other than follow the orders of the board and director, that you keep the excitement that you indicated in your welcome video and find a way to restore faith, trust, and safety in the school. To the board and to Ms. Delgado, I'm requesting a written statement be published prior to the commencement of the 2026-2027 school year as to concerns regarding the middle school building. It is beyond me that this school is in litigation and concerns are outlined in those pleadings as to the malfunctions of the school and the safety standards not compliant to code, yet you all have not taken the steps to protect our students. In your written statement, I want you all to be transparent and outline the potential danger that this building can have on the health and safety of our students and teachers. What measures this school is going to take to ensure our students are safe, what efforts you have done since being made aware that there has been an issue with this building, and create an open forum where you keep us parents updated. I am extremely frustrated and disappointed that you all have let this go under the rug and have continued to expose our children to dangers in this building. This is more than just middle school students, one of which my son will be coming this year. But my children were also in this building for music and other events since opening, and no one has said anything. I'm extremely disappointed in all of you. Lastly, I'm requesting the school form a PTO or PTA to create transparency and equal opportunity to all in this school. Last year was a complete mess in school events, money handling, allegations back and forth of responsibility, and I don't look forward to another school year to repeat the same issue. Thank you.
Angélica Romo. Angélica Romo.
¿Sí? ¿Me escuchan? Hola, buenas tardes. Mi nombre es Angélica Romo. Tengo el privilegio de... Mi hijo mayor fue de la primera generación de middle school aquí. Mis 3 hijos mayores estuvieron aquí y se enamoraron de la escuela. Actualmente mi hija va a pasar a 2º grado y les puedo decir que un solo día no se ha levantado sin ganas de venir a la escuela. Está enamorada de sus maestros, se despierta con ánimo, con entusiasmo, es una niña feliz. Y yo, mano a mano con los maestros, he estado voluntaria y he visto de primera mano su entrega, su amor, su compromiso que tienen con los niños. Lo dije en la Junta y lo vuelvo a repetir. Yo de primera mano he visto a los maestros que no vienen por reconocimiento, por dinero y mucho menos por el aplauso, porque es lo que menos necesitan, lo que menos reciben. Entonces abogo a el lema con el que se fundó esta escuela, que sea un salario justo y un trato digno, que yo he visto de primera mano que no sucede. Tristemente he escuchado a muchos maestros que han pasado por aquí y cuando mi hija creció y estábamos buscando escuelas, mis 3 hijos, por favor, mamá, métela a EJE. Por favor, porque es una familia. Ahí conocimos el verdadero significado de una familia escolar. Sufrieron mucho cuando llegaron a middle school y ahora en colegio. Todos abogaron por esta escuela y sigo enamorada de la escuela, pero tristemente padres y maestros han dicho que este es el bootcamp de los maestros, porque conocen la peor versión de su carrera docente por el trato, por el salario, por la demanda. Esta escuela se ha hecho por el trabajo de todos, pero especialmente de los maestros. Todos los reconocimientos y todo el nombre que tiene viene directamente de los maestros, porque ellos son los que trabajan día a día con nuestros niños y todos esos resultados vienen primero de ellos. Eso no hay que olvidarlo nunca. Los padres somos una pieza fundamental en ese éxito, pero los maestros son los que vienen todos los días, no importa cansados, en fin, ya se va a acabar el tiempo. Entonces, por favor, abogo a que ustedes hablan de unión, de participación, pero por otro lado, nos sentimos defraudados, nos sentimos engañados. Entonces, si realmente quieren la participación de los maestros, la transparencia y las puertas que de verdad estén abiertas. Muchas gracias.
It is now time on the agenda for item 5, the Executive Director Report.
Thank you, President Preciado. I believe we had another presentation before public comment, but I know that we were rearranging the agenda.
Is this the one on?
Gamut?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Can I do that first and then I can
Go
do
ahead.
it?
So, just so you know, one of the things that we're working to adopt, and you're gonna hear a presentation on it, is the new system of board packets, items, and things of that nature. So it's a repository. You'll hear more information about it shortly. Thank you.
Thank you. I have included in the presentation, and I think somebody was saying about the way we communicate, and I'm gonna stand up because it's kind of weird I can't see. Yeah, I can't see from there. So, is that okay if I'm? Yeah. Because then I can see from here. So like somebody was saying earlier that all materials should be translated to the best of our ability. We're gonna try to, at least all the presentations, to have double slides. So when you have them either digitally and or on paper, you can follow whichever slide you prefer. I apologize ahead of time if my translation is not the best. We're working on it. Welcome to GAMUT. What is GAMUT? So GAMUT, as some of you have already been talking about, is a platform that organizes board agendas, documents, all online and all under a platform. So the paper piece goes away. The board has access to the system, and you can organize all the way from the minutes to the agendas, and it's a platform that's similar to board docs. Raise your hand if you have seen board docs. Okay, we all know board docs because we've all looked at every district's website, and then you click on board docs, and it's a platform. So there's many platforms, and I didn't know this because all I knew was board docs. But GAMUT comes from CSBA, from the California School Boards Association. And the reason I'm presenting this to the board is because GAMUT specializes in policies, in updating policies, and the verbiage of policies specifically for charters. Whereas board docs is more geared towards the regular school districts. So this is why I'm going with GAMUT. I think it's gonna help all of us, organize our minutes, documents, agendas, and all the documents that are attached to the agenda. If you can continue on, because I think I'm talking. Okay. So this is a little what the platform looks like. You can access it via your phone and or via a computer. Go ahead. And so basically it's a centralized system, and it organizes all the agendas and minutes for everyone. And as a public, a community member, and a parent, you can go to our website, and just like you have to look for the meeting agenda now, you would just click on GAMUT, on their icon, and it will take you directly to the agenda that's already posted, or all the history. Or if you're looking for a policy, it'll do the same thing. It'll take you to that policy that you're looking at. When was it reviewed? Is it currently under revision? So it answers a lot of the questions I think that I've been getting and hearing from parents, community, and teachers. Go ahead. So the board policy adoption process, like I said, one of the things about GAMUT that I really liked more than board docs was that they really work with you specifically on the policies that you want to bring to your charter. As you know, we're not a regular school district. We are our own LEA, and we have to kind of align the policies that the board is going to adopt to our charter, what we stand for. So GAMUT does this with you personally. So I thought that was kind of, because I need that as we're going through all these very unique policies. And it might be a policy that we want to create. There were some suggestions that were made today. So this is our policy adoption process. The typical way is that the staff drafts or updates the policy. Legal has to review it to make sure we have all our required language in there. The board then reviews and has a discussion about the language. Then the public also gets to comment on the policy, and staff also comments and suggests. And then finally the board approves. And typically in a larger district, charters don't have to do this. They go to first reading. So they have to read it, they make suggestions, and then we take it back. And then the next month, they come back after we make the corrections and or suggestions, and then they actually vote on it. So that is the process, and once it's voted on by the board, then it goes into our handbook of policies in GAMUT. So anyone can look at it. So it's kind of neat, and then it gives you a reminder when we have to update that policy. So I think it's going to help us streamline and really understand and make it accessible for anyone to look at what are our policies, what are all our policies. Well, I'm excited about it. So go ahead, next one. Okay, so these are the benefits, and I talked about the benefits. It's better board collaboration as well, because they will all be on the platform and being able to look at all the items and access all the board packets. And the automated notifications for all board meetings, they'll get automated notifications. And I believe we can add different emails so they can get hey, the board agenda has been posted. And of course it's compliant and transparent, that's what I've been hearing. Okay, next one. Ultimately, it makes life easier for all of us. I've been watching Ms. Ruffin try to do minutes, and I think this weekend was my limit. I said, no more. We are recording, we are gonna upload it, and we're gonna do basic minutes and that's compliant. So I said, yeah, that needs to stop. So I get to a point where there has to be a better way. So I'm excited that GAMUT is gonna support that, and hopefully it promotes more accountability and more transparency. Next one. Spanish? Questions?
There are two speakers, so I'm going to call, there's one speaker with two slips on item 3.
Well, I think you ordered them, so I don't know.
I know, do you want to speak on this item?
Yeah.
Come on in. 3. Yeah, we'll figure it out. Yeah.
So if we can just get clarification on what exact modules we're looking at. I know that we have maintenance policy plus. So just confirming that we're not looking at GAMUT Online, which is an end-of-life product. So just want to just clarify that. Do we already have a budget? As I did see one there being proposed. What are we talking as far as from a financial? Yeah. And let me see here. And then in terms of an implementation plan, are we talking, it take a couple weeks, a couple months, a couple years? So hoping, trying to understand what that looks like and what kind of commitment from either staff, board members, committees, what does that type of organization need to happen in order to be able to implement a system like that? Would be kind of or kind of the questions that I have. Are we looking at any type of data migration, or are we going to be looking to try to start from scratch? Because those are very different things that we're looking at. And let me see what else.
What do you do when we need to hire you?
I live 2 blocks away. And I live 2 blocks away, so I'm an 18. Thank you.
Oh, that's all right. Can I answer?
Yeah.
Okay, this is our first time bringing this to the board, and the board has asked me in the past, like, is there an easier way? So, and I always said board docs, but board docs doesn't really cater to charter. So we are in the implementation stages. We just signed the agreement with them. It's not expensive. Board docs is very expensive, by the way. But you're gonna see this, how much it costs and our consent items for August.
Do you have a ballpark number?
About $7,500 a year. And as far as I understand, I'm not the IT person, but we're gonna start from scratch. That's easier than trying to migrate the current policies that we have. I'd rather start updating all the policies and then having them create that handbook within GAMUT. So it is a little bit more work, but I think we need to go through all the policies, not just one or two. So as far as the implementation of the agendas, from the demonstration I saw, it's pretty self-explanatory. Pretend that we're doing all the items, but just online, just kind of like board docs if you've gone through that. So I think it could be faster. My goal is to have us on for our next board meeting, but we'll see.
As you can see, we're having more discussion. This is an item on the agenda. Any other person have a question about this new system? Go ahead. So, only so that the interpreter can hear you.
My question is, what is the commitment to making sure that the information is bilingual too? Because I know that that's also very important if that would be made accessible.
I asked that question, and the system, when you click on, you can pick any language. It's kind of like when you Google Translate, they have that same system in GAMUT. So I'm like, okay, I'm sold. So it doesn't matter what language they speak, you can switch it to whatever language you want.
Any questions from the board? Karen? Dr. Galeo Kaplan, yes.
Yeah, I just had a question related to the policy part of it, a kind of a follow-up. Is that, so my understanding is we're in the process to update policies around many areas, so I'm not going to get into specifics. So your recommendation, as I'm understanding it, is that you'll review the existing policies, and we'll get into the process of that. But when policies get posted in this new format, it will be after a review. So within that lies this question, because if this process allows you to do review and input, wouldn't it make sense to put the current policies in there for review and input? Do you see where I'm going? Like, I feel like if we're going for transparency, and not that we have to put all the policies in this like on day one, but say, for example, you're working on safety, because that has come up a lot. So if the safety policy goes up there, everyone sees what the current safety policy is. And as we're doing the revision process, if I'm understanding it correctly, then everyone sees what's being updated, as opposed to doing it the way we have been doing it, and we're not going to see it till the end. Does that? So if you can clarify that.
And then I'll come to you.
Yes, that's a great question, and we did go back and forth with GAMUT regarding that. They do charge more for migrating our current policies into their system, and we have to do it one by one. So I can go back and I can do that. We just have to pay a little bit. I think it's $3,000 more to do that migration. That's why I think we don't have that many policies that we need. Maybe we can review them all this coming up year, and then they'll all be updated as a good start. But I can definitely follow up on it.
One second, I'm going to ask this question, and then if any board member has. Go ahead.
Yo nada más tengo una duda, pregunta general. Ustedes están aplicando eso y me parece muy bien, pero los padres que no son, no tienen la habilidad de la tecnología, a ellos, ¿cómo se les va a enseñar? ¿Van a tener un workshop o qué es lo que va a pasar con eso?
Sí, lo voy a contestar en español. Yo entiendo, especialmente haciendo la registración de online, que algunos papás tienen problemas con la tecnología. Entonces queremos establecer más talleres, no nomás para que sepan navegar cómo acceder al GAMUT, el sistema de las agendas, sino también a Parent Square. También cómo se usa, porque hay papás que me dijeron que no sabían también usar Parent Square. O cualquier comunicación vía email, que también algunos papás pues batallan con email porque no tienen su email. Sí, vamos a trabajar, yo voy a trabajar junto con la directora para establecer más talleres de tecnología.
Ahora otra pregunta. En cuanto, ¿tiene usted un tiempo estimado, por ejemplo, en 3 meses ya todos los padres deben haber recibido ese entrenamiento, un mes, o no hay ningún tiempo especificado donde usted puede dar, o bueno, la persona encargada de esos talleres? ¿Hay un tiempo estimado o no?
Toda la información que tenemos en la escuela va a ser ofrecida en papel, va a continuar todo. El sistema tiene que pasar por un proceso de integración. Entonces, lo que le puedo decir es que toda la información que necesite y estemos obligados a ofrecerle, lo va a seguir teniendo desde el primer día. La transición es algo que estamos aprendiendo, porque estamos aprendiendo cómo usar el sistema. Entonces, no le podemos dar un día determinado que la integración del sistema va a ocurrir, pero nuestro interés va a ser comunicarnos con los padres de familia y invitar a aquellos que ocupen ayuda con talleres de tecnología que participen. Como se ha de imaginar, no siempre pueden participar los padres, entonces es un proceso que se toma tiempo.
Creo que no me bien entendido, pero me refiero el tiempo de que van a dar los talleres, no que toda la información va a estar ahí. Por ejemplo, empiezan el lunes, ¿no? Ok, lunes, en 2 semanas vamos a tener el primer taller, algo así. Si tienen más o menos un tiempo.
Ahorita no le pudiera contestar, pero ya que comencemos la escuela vamos a finalizar nuestro calendario de talleres, de actividades, de todos los eventos, y eso lo va a poder ver en nuestra página website, que estamos trabajando en un calendario en vivo. Nuestra directora es tiene mucha tecnología ella, y para que todos los papás sepan todas las actividades y los talleres que vamos a presentar durante el año.
Okay. Ojalá sea muy amigable la página, porque no lo era.
Sí,
¿Puede decir ese nombre?
Irma García.
Muchas gracias. ¿Alguna otra pregunta sobre el sistema GAMUT? Any other questions over the system GAMUT? Seeing none, we're going to move on to the Executive Director's report. Here you go again.
I promise I'll go fast. Okay, this is information for this month and upcoming that hopefully brings some clarity on some questions that people may have. It didn't come out. That's weird. Enrollment so far, as of today, this is the following spaces available that we have in each grade level. As you can see.
Can I interrupt you for a second? Can you remind everybody that the handout?
Oh, yeah, yes. If you didn't get the handout or you don't have it digitally, we have it in the back if you missed the handout.
Si no, hay folletos de esta presentación. Si alguien necesita obtener una copia del folleto.
Everybody's good?
Y está bilingüe.
Están en los 2 idiomas. Entonces, I've switched over to Spanish. For our enrollment so far, as you know, we don't really take a snapshot of our enrollment until the 10th day of school. So this is like right now. It could be that by the time we get into the 2nd week of school, these spaces will be filled, or we might have spaces in some other grades, because we don't know if kids are coming until they come, until they're I would say they're buttons in the seat. But for now, I wanted to give you, for transparency's sakes, where we are in our enrollment. Now, I want to add something here. If parents haven't done their online registration, we have 100 families, 100 EJE families who still haven't completed their online registration information. So that means that we don't have their email, we don't have their phone number, we don't have their correct address. So no matter how we're communicating with them, they're not getting the message because they've never done their registration. So we're doing the best we can. We're making a plan for the first day of school when the student actually comes and how we can capture the parent then. But out of 850 students, we have 100. So I think we're doing good. Hopefully in 3 weeks, we'll lower that number. Anyway, next slide. Staffing, we're almost there. For staffing, we only need, for special education, we are doing really well. We just need one more paraprofessional. We're looking for that one person that supports classified staff members that support within the classroom. We need one TK teacher, so we're still looking for that one TK teacher. For enrichment, we did really well in interviews. There were exceptional people, but we still need 3 more youth leaders, so we're working on that. And then for classified staff, we are looking for receptionists and a wellness center aide. So those are the 2 positions we're still working on. So we're almost there. In a couple of weeks, I'm thinking we will fill these positions. And then, okay. There we go. Facilities. This is a popular topic. There's a lot of things going on in facilities. We have our 5th graders that are moving to the middle school in rooms 101, 104, and the maker space. So these are the classrooms that are further this side of the building, not the classrooms we're not using on the other side of the building. Special education and enrichment staff have moved to 12, 13, and 15. And then some administrative and classified staff members have moved into the building, into the middle school building as well, and we're going to be using, including myself, room 112. So we remember we expanded staff because we're taking special education over, so we needed to make room for additional teachers. Also, TK classrooms will remain in the same location. I think there was a misunderstanding somewhere that TK was moving. TK is not moving. We have the 2 TK classrooms in the church. They will stay in the church, and then we have 1 TK classroom here on the main campus. They will stay in the same place. As far as our playground, if you've been keeping up with our playground, we're in the middle of the bid process. That will close on July 30th. We're almost there. Then we'll select the contractors that have the lowest bids, and they will start work in the beginning, middle, August. I can't promise you, but we're trying to have them start the work in August. And then the work should be completed by December. So by December, we should have all the shading structures done and also the new playground for the elementary school kids. Next one. Facilities continued. Work completed over the summer. So in the summer, congratulations to all our custodians and the additional people that have volunteered to help during the summer. We have repainted all the middle school classrooms with very good paint. I don't know if that makes any sense, but better paint. And the backpack hooks have been installed inside the classroom. So students, middle school students, will not put their backpacks in the hallway, which was a safety hazard. So they're all going to be inside. And then every middle school classroom got 2 bulletin boards because the walls did not have bulletin boards. And that one was causing all the paint to peel off because they were creating bulletin boards with tape. So the bulletin boards have been installed. So that's a great thing for our new building. AC filters have been changed, and all classrooms will be cleaned by the first day of school. Soccer field, work has been completed and final walkthroughs have been completed. So the soccer field is open the first day of school, so yay. In progress of negotiating who will take care of the grass. So I'm in the process of, there's some club soccer entities that want to come and use the field in exchange for taking care of the grass. As you know, I don't know if you know this, but I was informed that taking care of soccer grass is very, very a unique skill. It's like a science. I did not know all that it entailed. So I'm trying to grab some experts to come and take care of our grass because I don't want to lose it. It's beautiful. So anyway, I'm in the process of doing that. Looking ahead, so there's always something happening in facilities. The TK Kinder renovation project, I know that's been a conversation that a lot of people have talked about. We did not get the loan for the TK Kinder project, but we still need to work on what we're going to do and how we're going to renovate those relocatables. Okay, that's still in progress. We need to add staff and student restrooms. That's a given that came out in the facilities committee. We need to continue working on that. And also storage. We have more people now, so we have less space to store things. Besides throwing away things that we don't need, we need to still look for more spaces to store things. So we're working on that. And repairing the front of the elementary school. So repainting, did I say repainting? Yes, repainting. So the front, once the board comes up with a new logo to represent EJE Dual Language Academy, then we're gonna repaint that front, and so we can name our school the new name. And then there's the two relocatables, one is TK, one is Kinder. They're gonna be repainted and redone because they look really they're not good. But we're gonna work on those. Those are gonna be number one. The front of the school is gonna be number one. And then refurbishing the two relocatables, that are facing the outside. I think we have a plan for that, and that might happen sooner than later. Next one. So we went, well, MTSS is a multi-tier system of support, and this is a team, a system that functions within every school and every district and even charter schools. So we have reinstated, because EJE had an MTSS team about a couple of years ago, but we brought them back, and we had a great 3-day PD with the team, where they came up with a plan for next year. And one of the things that came up with the group of teachers, our psychologists, our director of special ed, classified staff, paraprofessionals, it was a mix of staff, that we want to make sure that we can identify the needs of students quickly, and that we can develop interventions within the classroom and outside the classroom. And then that we have structures and processes in place to ensure students know the expectation, both behavior and academic. So we're working on developing those things, but in order to create one system so we can identify those needs, we're adopting Branching Lines, which is a platform that integrates all the data, whether it's assessments, whether it's our CAP scores, LPAC scores, our formative assessments that teachers do in the classroom. It's a one-stop shop. So the team and or any teacher can go in there and look for a student, and we would know how they're doing socio-emotionally, how they're doing academically, how they're doing on their assessments, whether they're summative or formative. And so we're very excited, but we're initiating this work with the team. The team also went to the MTSS conference in July. We just came back, and it was very beneficial. I don't know if you want to say anything, Ms. Walker, about our conference experience? Why not? Why not, right? I think she was instrumental.
Who's the team that you keep referring to? I saw the picture on the website, but
who's on the team here? Wave.
You.
Because we don't have everybody.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
So you're
you're
in the team. We had like
There we go.
Good afternoon, everybody. I think we had like 15, right? 15 classified, both classified and teachers, and admin, of course, and Lauren Pastor, our special ed director, was, of course, with us also. It was a 3-day full of just MTSS information from the different experts and professionals from different school districts in California, and also from the State Board of Education. So we learned a lot. So our first thing to do right now is, from a lot we've learned, is we have to pair things off and see which one will work with us, which one will work at EJE. And we had also time to debrief as a team. And the one thing that we spoke about with the team is that you're not going to get decisions just from me. This is going to be team-made. This is all going to start from the ground up. The team will collaborate for these decisions. It's going to happen. That's going to impact everybody, and of course the school. So this Friday, the team is actually meeting, the ones who are available. We are actually meeting and coming up with what we call the whole child behavior plan. And when we say whole child, we're talking everything, mentally, socially, social, emotional, physical, everything when we talk whole child. Because usually when a child is hurting, there's always something that happens, right? It's not just because the pain is here. There's always something that happens somewhere else. So that's why we say whole child. And we are a community school. And our purpose is for the whole child, of course. So this Friday, we're going to come up with our best draft. And that best draft will be presented to all the staff the next week for feedback. We are not going to finalize anything unless everybody has seen it, collaborated on it, gave feedback about it, and has a chance to actually revise it. Maybe we need to revise it to make it better. So it's going to be like a live document, but we do want the staff to contribute to it. This is not a principal's job.
Ms. Walker,
right?
how do parents contribute to the development?
Yes, that would be great. I mean, one of the things that we can do also is that we're planning to have a lot of parent workshops. Once the staff has kind of decided on what we need to do, I'm putting together right now the handbook, the parent and student handbook. And it's a handbook that has gone through so many versions, right? And some of them don't apply anymore. So what's going to happen is that the handbook will be on Google Docs, because throughout the year, we can revise certain policies, not different from what the board will be doing with GAMUT. We will be doing that with parent feedback. We have an ASB starting this school year, which is very exciting. That's your student voice. We want the student voice. They know a lot about themselves and each other, right? And I would rather they say to me what their experience is like, rather than I tell them what my experience was like many years ago. It has to come from the students. And of course, our teachers and our classified staff are going to be a part of it. So those are all work in progress, and they're going to be live documents, and hopefully we do the process, because we want to respect the process with everybody. We want everybody to impact the process.
Any questions? Ay, la señora tiene una pregunta. Préstale el micrófono para que no sea muy terminal.
No tengo una pregunta, nada más quiero comentarle a Ms. Walker. I sent an email to you for some, we request some meetings before the school year start. So I hope you can check and give us
Emails from parents.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get any emails from
No.
parents.
Okay.
We'll talk.
Okay, stay. We'll follow up.
We'll talk.
Thank you.
Thank you. We'll follow up with you.
All right, so we're gonna move on to the next slide. Okay, well, no, you passed the upcoming events. Okay, here we go. So just as a recap, there's a lot of things happening in August. We have Teachers Return on August 3rd. We have the Enrichment Parent Orientation on August 5th from 4 to 5.
Enrichment is after school program?
After school program, yes, the after school program. August 5th, 5 to 6 is the EJE regular parent orientation. August 6th is from 5 to 6 is the special education parent orientation. And then August 10th is our first day of school. So we're excited about our first day. But during that first week, if you've been keeping up, and we'll send out more reminders, we're also starting a middle school soccer academy. The tryouts
are going to be between August 11th and the 13th, and you should be getting some information from Mr. Gamino. He's our coach. And August 24th is our next board meeting. So any questions? Now you can go to the questions.
Yes, ma'am, come on up, and then the next two. Hey, you can hand her the mic.
I just have a concern regarding you moving the fifth grader students over to the middle school, because as one of the parents brought up is the issue with the electricity usage. I want to know the safety of the students and staff are secure, because what if there's a leak in the water? I don't know if that interferes with that. I know there's a pending litigation going on, and that's going to take time, but I want to be assured the safety of our students and staff.
Go ahead and address me.
Thank you so much. This has been, litigation has been going on since before I got here last year. We did have a town hall last year to explain. We had our attorney come and explain what was happening. I invited him to come next in August 24th to come and do another update, but 100% assure every parent and staff member that everybody in that building is safe. We would not have kids in that building if it wasn't safe. The 2 classrooms in question, there's no students in those classrooms. Where the 5th graders are moving is on the opposite side of where the 2 classrooms in question. And the 2 classrooms that there's no students there yet are okay for adults to be in. That's why we're in there. So for more details, I can send out a more detail. I sent one out last year. I'm going to send it out again at the beginning of the school year so parents know that the building is safe.
Can I have the mic? Do you have another question?
I do. Regarding the notifications, I was not aware of the situation until recently, and I heard from some parents that there were notifications sent out. I never saw them. There were meetings I never knew about.
So I hope you're one of the parents that is registered, because we have 100 parents.
I am registered on Parent Square.
Okay, excellent. So we have 2 new board members, so I'm going to give a very short narrative of where we were. So when we constructed the middle school, our architects created the building, our contractor put up the building, and during construction, the contractors recognized that the power lines that are on that street were too close to the building. So from there, a lawsuit ensued because we're suing our architects. Our attorney we had a public meeting before everyone moved into the middle school. The public meeting was for everyone moving into the middle school. The teachers moved into the middle. Everyone was made aware, but if you can take special effort to find out when we had that town hall and the information that was provided. So here's the twist. For those 2 classrooms that are on the far end, during 2 or 3 hours of the day, there is a technology called EFG, and this is a wave. So the waves come into the classroom at an amount that is not acceptable for use. Hence, we have not used those 2 classrooms at all. They're used as storage. We are going through the process of mitigation. We are in a lawsuit against the architects that designed that building. We didn't design it. We hired licensed architects to design the building. We hired contractors to do the building. And there is that's a good ringtone. So the 2 classrooms that are not being used for instructional purposes, no one's there the full day. Because we increased a lot of personnel. Some members of the administration have moved into one of the classrooms on that edge, but there is construction that will occur that will basically put a thick aluminum wall. The aluminum wall that will block the EFG wave So again, this is during the time of the day when everyone's using their energy and it's transmitting through those lines, that it goes up. But the aluminum wall, the repair is going to happen. We haven't made the repair because we did not place any students in that classroom. We are now moving staff into that classroom, but they're all management. And Sherry, I hope you like your new office. Our goal, if we are ever to use that building for instruction, those 2 classrooms at the edge, because those are the only ones affected, then other classrooms are not affected in any way. Once that is secure with the aluminum, we will reconsider use of those classrooms. But at this time, we made a decision as a board that those 2 classrooms would not be used. But we decided to occupy the middle school because our consultants, our experts, told us that it's only those first 2 classrooms. And there's readings. We take readings and you can measure. It's a technology, it's easily measurable, and it occurs, it happens 10 feet from the wall, but it doesn't go past that. And so like I said, the technology required to mitigate this, and we're trying to get the architects to pay for it, is the aluminum wall, because there's no reason we should be paying for it. And that's what the lawsuit is about. And so there was a scheduled community or open forum, there was communication. So can we have that brought to the next meeting as a packet? But anyone going into that building, there are no students taught, met with, connected to in those first 2 classrooms. That is by board directive, and we made it prior to you two coming. And do you have a comment or a question? Go ahead.
I just wanted to say, because when we were informed of this, because we were new, so we weren't here when this happened, but one of the meetings we had, one of the things that reassured me at least, is that they did do readings in all of the classrooms. So none of the classrooms were affected except those 2, because there's meters you can bring into the room to see the I guess they're EFTs, the energy. And even in the 2 rooms they're using, actually technically they're at a certain level that could be considered safe, but the board prior to us made the decision to not use those rooms until it was totally mitigated. So I just want you all to know that we were brought up to speed on that, and that reassured me to see those readings, because that was the question that we had coming on as new board members. So.
I saw 2 hands up. Go ahead. And you can use the microphone. You need a break?
Yes.
Okay, so we're gonna we'll take a 5-minute recess, but can we take 1 question?
Yeah.
Okay, go ahead.
I don't want to start stealing you.
Yeah, I know, no dizziness. We'll take a break. So we're gonna take 1 question, and then we're gonna take a 5-minute break.
I'll be really quick. I'm a kindergarten teacher, and I was excited to see that the TK Kinder area is gonna, in the future, we have in mind to maybe refurbish some parts.
Build a new one.
I hope so, yeah. So some suggestions or things to keep in mind in that process are I know you've probably seen it, is the lost and found. Kids often forget their sweaters, and as much as we remind them, we remind parents, it just becomes a big pile and a big mess, specifically around K1 and K2. So if we can keep that in mind too, maybe a different organization system for that. And another thing too, the small playground, there's 2. There's one that's small and blue. That one floods in winter, or it floods very easily. And so we have to close it off in those times, and kids come in wet and things like that. So just something to keep in mind as winter comes this December. But I just wanted to say I'm glad that that's coming in the future.
Thank you.
We're gonna take a 5-minute break. Thank you, our wonderful interpreter. We appreciate it. Yeah, I know. So take a break, walk outside, whatever it is you want to do. We are on a break. So seguimos en el reporte de la directora ejecutiva. Estamos en el reporte de la directora ejecutiva. Si tienen alguna pregunta relacionada con lo que presentó la directora ejecutiva, pueden formarse a hacer su pregunta. Go ahead.
In each classroom. I was wondering how many, is it still the same, about 23, 25 students per class?
Yes, the student-teacher ratio that you had last year, it stays the same for this year. We haven't changed anything.
All right, and now what's going to, looking ahead facilities, just like Ms. Ledesma talked about, I hope you really look at kindergarten play area. Just because in the past year, I feel like we've had just a lot of more injuries in kindergarten due to the play area. Like the poles have like bolts that are coming out of it, and students keep crashing into it, causing bruises, cuts, and stuff like that. We had a student get stuck on the bars in the playground as well. And because it's made out of wood chips, it can also be a little bit unsafe at times if there's like not enough wood chips. Because there's not enough wood chips, it causes kids to also still get cuts and bleed when they fall. And also it can be a little distracting because they bring them in the classroom and stuff. So I hope you really consider that when going into renovations for the kindergarten area or the play area. And then next to our play area, the bigger one, we have just a dirt field, and we have kids that love soccer. And so every recess, they just become covered in dirt because there's nowhere else to play. We have to split kindergarten into 2 parts. So it's kind of like K1 and K2 over here, K3 and K4 over there, and so there's also no play equipment for them to use or a lot. So they just kind of run around in the dirt all the time, and they also get a little bit dirty. So maybe if we can buy play equipment for next year for that area, if there is no changes to the play structures, that would be awesome as well. And yeah, that's about it for me. Thank you.
Thank you.
Go ahead.
Say my name again, Claudia Rios Castillo, and I'm a parent. I wanted to share that I had learned about the EMF issue in June of this year, not from the school, but from another parent. And they shared how they found out, and it was an important notice about our building. And it said, come meet our new executive director. We invite you to join us for a special meeting where you'll have the opportunity to meet our new executive director, hear about important updates on our new school building. We'll be sharing the latest progress that has been completed and what is still underway, all with continued focus on the safety of our students and staff. That doesn't tell us anything about the EMF issues. This meeting happened on June 11, 2025. I want the administration to provide clear, informed consent disclosures for every family, not just buried in messages like this. The notice should explain what the EMF issues are, what spaces have infected what you have today, and it should also explain the timeline on the mitigation efforts. But I also want to highlight that I'm a person that looks at what the what should the state is asking the schools to do. And when I looked at the state California Department of Education, their guidance was that facilities are recommended classrooms and also athletic tracks and fields should not be constructed within 100 feet of high voltage electric lines. So we're talking about the classrooms, but we haven't talked about the new field that was built, the new track, the basketballs, and I want to know if there did look into the EMF ratings in those places as well, because our kids, not right now because the field's closed, but our kids are going to be in those places. And if that has been investigated, and again, what mitigating factors are going to be there, because even though, again, they are not out there the whole time, this is coming from the State Department that they shouldn't be built. So we now have these 2 areas that are built and these 2 kind of no-go places. So I would like, again, very specific responses. Thank you.
Señora or ma'am, ¿pueden ayudar con el micrófono?
Buenas tardes, mi nombre es Marcela Cerro. En unos meetings anteriores habían dicho que los niños no podían meterse a la cancha de fútbol a la Nueva porque el pasto estaba teniendo su proceso. Ese tiempo para acá y tiempo atrás, hay niños que los fines de semana se brincan la barda de la escuela y se ponen a jugar. Entonces cuando estaba cerrado para nuestros hijos que vienen a la escuela, los niños que no son de la escuela, que están jugando y no hay campo en el parque, se brincan la barda y se ponen a jugar en la cancha. Entonces fue como dije, no dejan a nuestros hijos jugar, pero no hay revisión cuando no están ustedes. ¿A quién podemos acudir cuando vemos algo así? Porque no es la primera vez que yo veo algo así. Se meten y se han robado los balones y no sé qué más puedan hacer. Entonces también es preocupante porque no hay seguridad para nuestros hijos cuando regresan al siguiente lunes a la escuela, que pueda haber alguna cosa, no sabemos, o sea, hay niños que tienen maldad. Entonces, esa es una de mis preguntas. ¿Y para cuándo va a estar el parque o el área de juegos que dijeron que iba a estar? Nada más.
¿El área de juegos nueva?
Sí, el nuevo.
Esperamos que para diciembre ya se...
¿Hasta diciembre?
Sí, va a empezar la construcción en el otoño.
Oh. Y de lo otro, la seguridad para todos, porque no es para los niños, sino para los maestros y encargados que trabajan aquí.
La seguridad, tenemos muchas cámaras y acabamos de poner cámaras específicamente en el donde está el soccer field. Ahí hay cámaras ahora. Cuando se brincan o se quieren meterse a los salones, la seguridad, pues tenemos, yo tengo las cámaras, Mr. Gutiérrez también, la directora también, podemos detectar si alguien está aquí en el camp, en la escuela. Si ustedes en la comunidad miran a alguien que está jugando en el lugar, tienen que hablarle a la policía porque están trespassing. Son cosas que tienen que hacer porque, bueno, todos tienen mi teléfono, me pueden marcar a mí y yo puedo hablar a la policía, pero si van caminando, una mamá me dijo que iba caminando un sábado y que nos vio jugar, y les decía, oh my gosh, tienen que hablarle a la policía porque ellos tienen llave para entrar, la policía del cajón, tienen llave para entrar y ellos pueden llegar más rápido que yo puedo llegar. So, es muy importante la seguridad para todo el niño durante el día. Tenemos las cámaras en el frente de la oficina y también en nuestros celulares que podemos ver a todo el personal que está pasando durante el día.
Okay, sí, porque esto ya ha pasado. Vivo a 2 cuadras. Yo vengo y camino de vueltas y veo que está pasando. He dicho, pero no veo algo que cambie.
Muchas gracias.
Entonces,
muchas gracias.
Pero ¿qué me sacan los demás? Pero en relación con eso, ella me comunicó, yo dije, ok, voy a llamar a la policía, llamé a la policía, pero como no es emergencia, ellos no vienen, entonces ese es el problema. No sé si porque somos ciudadanos, si no es ningún principal de aquí o alguna autoridad dentro de la escuela, pero eso es lo que pasa. Y si las personas llaman, te piden así como, ¿cómo te llamas? ¿Dónde vives? O sea, te piden toda tu información. Mucha gente a veces no llama por eso. Entonces quisiéramos, o al menos yo quisiera, que tuvieran algo, alguien, o ustedes, generalmente sábado es aquí en domingo, ¿qué pasa eso? Ustedes estuvieran como más conectados con la policía o no sé, porque yo llamé, me regresaron la llamada como 1 hora y media después, dijeron que iban a venir porque está fácil, pero no sé si vinieron, pero ya me han pasado como 2 o 3 horas.
Otra opción que les doy a todos es, me pueden hablar, mi celular es público, yo lo pongo en mi email, todos tienen mi celular, pueden hacerme text a decir que ven a alguien y no se sienten a gusto hablarle a la policía, y yo les hablo a la policía. Háganme un text, hey, alguien está en el field o vi a alguien en la escuela, yo primero reviso las cámaras y determino, oh my gosh, ese no es staff o personas que yo conozco, entonces yo hablo, ha pasado una vez, yo le hablo a la policía y si vinieron, bueno, quizá porque yo les hablé, ¿verdad? Pero por eso, de cualquier manera que ustedes se sienten a gusto, a mí, a Ms. Walker, a cualquier personal que tengan su celular, nosotros estamos disponibles a hablarle a la policía porque es nuestro plantel y queremos protegerlo. Entonces, y si no, si yo me arranco para acá también para ver si la policía no llega.
Diga, señora Roma.
Gracias. Tengo una pregunta acerca del personal que necesitan. La maestra Priscila
me dijo que no se renovó su contrato. El maestro Samaniego en esta junta dijo que no se renovó su contrato, pero aquí están buscando a la persona, una persona que cubría las necesidades de estos dos maestros. Yo hablando directamente con las dos secretarias me dijeron, nos vemos el próximo año. Me promete que va a estar aquí, por supuesto, y ahora están buscando una secretaria. Sé que los ajustes y los cambios tienen que suceder. Tenemos que avanzar y tenemos que evolucionar. Sin embargo, creo que personas realmente calificadas y comprometidas y enamoradas de este proyecto se están dejando ir y están por cuestión de budget. No entiendo, pero realmente me entristece muchísimo que estas personas tan valiosas las dejen ir y estén buscando personas que tal vez quieren menos dinero, pero están haciendo recortes en un lado y en otro. No entiendo, en una de las juntas alguien dijo
Señora Romo, no vamos a poder comentar en el personal, es un asunto de recursos humanos y no vamos a poder comentar. Agradezco que hagan su comentario. Hay vacantes y puede invitar a todos los que quieran empleo en esta escuela a aplicar, pero no podemos comentar sobre personal que ya no trabaja aquí y especialmente de ningún tema relacionado al a recursos humanos.
Yo nada más quiero dejar ante dicho que es muy triste y alguien dijo en una junta que la abogada viene de San Francisco y le pagan el boleto de avión y le pagan los viáticos y le pagan cuando dicen que no hay dinero para cubrir.
Por 20 años esa señora fue voluntaria abogada de esta
Estoy
escuela.
completamente de acuerdo, pero entonces están haciendo recortes donde no se tocan el corazón y en otros sí se tocan el corazón. Solamente quiero expresar
No podemos comentar por qué cambios de recursos humanos.
Lo que abogo una vez más es la base de esta construcción, de esta escuela, la base del lema de la escuela, justicia en educación, y me gustaría que fueran justos con los maestros y con el personal. Gracias.
Muchas gracias. Señor Castillo, related to the Executive Director report.
Oh, yeah. Just confirming my understanding from our previous meeting that the committees will be announced at the parent orientation, first one. And did I hear right in the presentation about branching minds that any staff member can look up any student, which does present some security concerns there. So just kind of clarification as to how exactly that's going to be done. And then as far as like the TK, possibly moving, not possibly moving, I think that's related to their lease not being renewed. So at least as far as I've seen, there's no documentation available online of their lease being renewed through August of 26. So if that happened, it hasn't been made available. And let's see. Last item is when the food drive will be restarted. Thank you.
All right. Do you have any reactions?
Just on the branching minds, the teachers can access their own students on the data. Not that they can access all students, but their own students.
Yeah, and there should be a hierarchy of access depending on who needs to see what is specific information for the educational need.
Okay. Yeah.
Violeta, go ahead.
I wanted to talk about the building, and I wanted to make sure that you guys are a little bit more transparent when you guys send out the invitation for us to come, to let us know exactly why we're coming about the building. I also want another independent test done, as I heard you right now on the side say that you guys don't test the room every day. That really concerns me. There is electric waves going in there, and for a reason you guys are fighting for that aluminum wall and barrier. So I really want a second opinion on this room before we put any kids or any staff in there.
Thank you.
Violeta, ¿me puede decir su apellido?
further questions for the Executive Director on the items presented by the Executive Director? Go ahead, ma'am.
I was just wondering, can I pull this up? I'm wondering if the fifth graders moving into middle school building, is that long-term? Is that a short-term plan specifically for the maker space? Because that's a space that we use as middle school to do like science labs or to host grade level meetings. So I'm wondering if we're gonna be able to use that space how we have in the past, or if that's going to be a fifth grade classroom from now on.
Thank you for the question. The plan is to have the fifth grade, one of the fifth grade classes there. I'm sure the teacher who's moving into will be open to having after school meetings there or any other type of meeting. But it's that classroom is a short term. Hopefully, when we get the other two classrooms open, they can move into one of those classrooms. So yeah, we want our maker space eventually back.
And remember, the major reason for all the moving is to accommodate the special education or the enhanced learning that needs to occur in the, what are the number of those rooms?
12, 13.
And that's where the special ed teachers will be working. All right, we're moving on the agenda. Can you post the next agenda item? This is the one related. Are there any speakers on this item? This is EJEA Academies 501c3 Board of Trustees appointments, July 26 through July 2028, and board officer appointments. Go ahead.
Again. Hi, my name is Claudia Rios Castellum. I'm speaking tonight as a parent and as a member of a parent movement asking for transparency, accountability, and equity to increase authentic parent engagement. This movement began as a result of not knowing why decisions were being made at the administrative board level. So we turned to the governing documents and were surprised to see a system that was inaccessible to parents, either because it was only written in English, or documents were missing or too vague, and there was no way to even know who our trustees were. To quote Trustee Pacheco, my first impression was that the system was not working. It was for me to either ignore, look away, or choose to do something about it. So thanks for that inspiration. I'm here to formally present the board a petition. It has been signed by over 100 stakeholders who all share the same request, that this board restore a real voice for parents and staff in how our school is governed. Prior to May 2023, our bylaws guaranteed 2 trustee seats that families could vote for directly every spring through a clear process. In December of 2023, families lost the right to vote for trustees. The decision of electing board members of the board rests entirely with the board. To this day, our staff who works with our children every single day have no guaranteed seat, no vote, no official pathway onto the board. We don't believe this reflects who EJE is. Our own charter states that our composition of the board will include directors with a diverse skill set based on the needs of the organization. Right now, our organization needs the skill set that only parents and staff bring, the lived daily experience of our classroom and our community. Our bylaws already allow for up to 29 board positions. We are simply asking for 2 of these seats to reflect our families and the staff that our school exists to serve. As the board currently stands, the need for the families are being ignored due to the lack of representation. I have also attached a list of grievances that families have communicated. At last month's meeting, it was disheartening to see the lack of trauma-informed responses by the board when witnessing the pain of our community members and admonishing us for not knowing the process of how board meetings function. You have failed to provide us with the mechanisms to be informed and empowered. So tonight, on behalf of more than 100 signers of this petition, we're respectfully asking that the board restore at least 1 trustee seat elected directly by families, create at least 1 trustee seat for staff representatives chosen by EJE staff with clear rules written into the bylaws. Communicate all trustee vacancies, elections, and processes bilingually in English and Spanish through the school calendar, letters, home, and the website, not in board agendas. Give the community advance notice and real time for input before our future bylaws are changed. And lastly, contract with PIQUE or similar organizations who provide parents with a civic engagement program training to empower families. We're submitting the full petition with signatures into the record tonight. We also ask that the petition be attached as an exhibit to the meeting minutes. We're asking that this be placed in the August agenda as an action item, and we welcome for the opportunity to meet with the board or a committee to work through this together. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. So I'm going to be making a motion today, and you can see the item on the board. The motion is, right now, my term ended, my current term ended on June 30th, 2026. And at present, Directors Cadero, Kaplan, Pacheco, Sagapolitelli, and Salcido's terms are scheduled to end on June 27th. In order that we ensure continuity, I propose that we create staggered terms for the 5 board of directors. I move the reappointment of directors trustees as follows: Jose Preciado, July 26th through June 28th; Eva Pacheco, July 26th through June 28th; Yolanda Salcido, July 26th through June 28th. For everyone's information, Dr. Cadero Kaplan's appointment ends on June 27th. Maxine Sagapolitelli's term ends on June 27th. So everyone's appointments of the board of directors is every 2 years, but we are the appointing authority of our board of directors. Yes. Yolanda Escamilla, not Yolanda Salcido? I apologize. So I move, so I make the motion. Is there a second? It's seconded. Any discussion? All in favor of adopting the motion as presented, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Aye. Any abstentions? Motion carries 4-0 with Escamilla absent. I do want to move on to the next item. And we'll do the same thing we did. We are looking to plan for the future, so we don't have a date for our board retreat, but we set up a couple of I set up a couple of proposals for items that we may want to discuss. I think it's coming up. So the board retreat will give us an opportunity today to set the agenda for the board retreat. There's been discussion that we may have it on a Saturday morning, so that we can come, at 9 a.m. and maybe leave by 12. And so, can you go to the next slide? ¿No está funcionando?
No, es que no puedo ver desde allá. Oh, there it is.
Yo tampoco puedo ver.
I want to put it as a slide.
It's a slide.
There it is.
So this first slide says draft topics for July 26, and this could be one of the topics or 2 of the topics. And then the next slide just has open-ended other topics that we may want to include. And so if you go back to the other one, I can share with you, I came up with this one. One of the critical needs that we have is to improve our TK and kindergarten. And you just, anytime any of the board members, if you want to visit these rooms right now that we're in summer, you can come and make it or contact Griselda. They look terrible from outside, the ones that face the street. But as you know, the El Cajon Valley School District did not pass the bond 2 years ago. We were expecting $5 million so that we could update those buildings. And then we applied for a loan that we would finance through our general budget, but as you informed us, we did not get the loan. So I think for the future of the school, we need to think about what our capital plan might be. And since there is no, maybe somebody wins the lotto and donates money, or the Cajon Valley School District decides, but they already decided they are not placing a bond on the ballot for this November, so there will be no bond. And I just empathize. The TK kids, for example, need to have a restroom inside their classroom. And so that's one of the reasons why we use the facilities across the street for those PKs, because they need to have a restroom inside. And have a field in the back over there that isn't used. Some of you may have seen it, it's the one that has the bumps. So I think we could have like a TK kindergarten complex back there, but for example, we might need to start a capital campaign. And that would require us to talk about serving the kids, meeting the kids. And that is a typical function that a nonprofit board like us does. We go out and fundraise, we talk to the legislature to see if they will provide funding. There was a huge bond that was passed statewide, but because we weren't construction ready, we couldn't apply for those funds. And we're a charter school, so they also separate us from the regular requests. So we're interested in seeing if we can do that, but we need a plan. So I can talk about it until I exhaust myself, but we need a capital plan that's developed, and we may need to hire somebody to help us plan, work with the educators to see what the need is, what the classroom size needs to be. What is it that TK kids need and kindergarten kids need for their area? Then the next, and then the recreation activities. I think we heard from some teachers today about the playground in the children's area. So one of the things that we would talk about is see if we invite some of our people that have helped us with construction and figure out what a capital plan looks like and what that means, right? So let's say somebody gives us a rough estimate that this is the new cost for the facilities. It was 4 years ago that you came up with $5 million. Well, probably now it's like $9 million. And so that gets us farther and farther away. Then the next topic that I brought is more Spanish language family programming after school and on the weekend. And I thought maybe we could host community theater, literature and poetry reading, and other expository activities that would involve families. And most of the community activities we have right now are festivals, but I don't think we take full advantage of everything we could be doing. So we could have children's theater, we could have adult theater, and things like that. So anyway, those are the two things that I wanted to bring. So today what we're doing is we're forming the agenda for the retreat, and then we're picking a day for the retreat. And so, Juan, can you move to the next one? And so if any of the board members come up with ideas, and I'm gonna take, I don't have any speaker slips for the board retreat, but if you wanna raise your hand and suggest things for the board retreat, I know we just got a petition, so we may consider that. But I'm interested in seeing if there's anything that the board, and so I'm gonna pass the mic. Eva, are there any topics you'd like to see in the board retreat? Now this is for us to have a discussion about what we need and to provide direction. Go ahead.
So I'm glad you put the Spanish
language
component in there, but I think one of the things that I would like us to discuss is how to strengthen and I know is Walker is gonna work on that, but I also have from us some direction on really do make the school a dual language, Spanish and English, because right now it seems like the model is failing. So in that regard is how we're gonna support the staff.
So one thing we can do is we can ask the principal, because we have a chartering agreement, and the goal is to do 90% up to a certain grade level, and then it's 50-50 the other grade level. Maybe we can have a discussion with the principal about how that's going to be implemented, and that could be an item for our board retreat.
Yes.
But this is generative, so Priscilla's taking notes, so let's pass this on.
Yeah, I appreciate what Ava just offered, because I think it's important even for us as a board to understand what is the model and how is that, because when we're talking about the development of English learners, we also have to understand the biliteracy component. So I think it would be a good overview, at least to understand what is the model and what's being implemented. I wanted to add to the agenda the concerns from the parents that this petition that we received. I think we need to have a discussion because it has come up several times. We do hear you, and I just want to say, you know, we're in a position we can't always respond. So I think we can use the board retreat as a process to really process it together and then be able to come back and address it. So I'd like to suggest that.
I want to echo Karen, and I want to deep dive into the bylaws, if that's okay.
All right, so we may need like 5 or 6 retreats.
Yeah.
One of the things that you'll get, and you should have it on the agenda, it was on the May 19th, you have the charter authorization. So the educational program is described in detail there. I read it, I read it today. I was looking for things. But you will also have our incorporation document, and we'll send that out so that you can see what it is. There is a big difference between the 501c3 and what the school is. And then there are 5 standing parent committees that are part of the school that are mentioned in the authorizing agreement. And also, I hope you're aware that we are in negotiations with the representative of 44 of our staff. They have a legally, an entity that represents their interests in every way legally. So you need to take stock of that, because the people who are not represented are the classified and the administrators. Okay? That's very important. Go ahead.
I think, just to echo Maxine, it's more about us being able to have a discussion. Because I can read those documents, but we only meet here, right? So at a retreat, we'll be able to do, not just, I mean, she said a deep dive, but honestly, if we have questions, that would be our space to bring up those questions and have dialogue around, well, what are the 5 standing committees? How are they functioning? It's more that type of dialogue, not, I can read the documents, but how is that being implemented? And that, I think that's really I don't know, is the concern. So thanks.
All right. So we'll take 5 individuals if you want to suggest topics. We have one, so we got that one. Is there anyone else that wants to suggest topics for the retreat? Go ahead. Oh. Remember, we're probably going to do 3 hours, so.
This will be quick.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I have I've been building a governance checklist using all of our documentation, charters, bylaws, etc. So I think that's kind of what you're talking about as far as kind of that deep dive is. I'm happy to share that with you all. It's not, you know, something to, it's a tool, right? So I'm happy to share that and for you guys to use, but definitely going through a kind of a checklist.
Excellent. Anyone else? Oh, Ms. Castello, go ahead.
I like the idea of the poetry, but I think that we are also in an age where STEM is really important, and that's one of the things that I don't see happening here unless you go to enrichment. Those kiddos are lucky and they have the opportunity to learn about coding and build with Legos. However, it would be wonderful to have maybe literacy night around STEAM, engineering, all those things that would help our children, because that's one of those things that's going to help them propel them to get through high school and college, and it's an area where Latinos in STEAM and engineering is also really important. So thank you.
Okay, go ahead.
También sería bueno, y que se les ha pedido en otras ocasiones, mesas de trabajo con papás y maestros que sean retroalimentación de qué es lo que ellos necesitan de nosotros y así también haya un mejor trabajo para los niños y mejoras para elevar el nivel académico.
Okay. So, my next question, it seems like we have a series of topics. My next question is there a Saturday we're available and I want to honor somebody's upcoming travel plan?
Well, this is for you.
Karen,
Tuesdays are-
is there a couple Saturdays that you might be available that you want to offer as next meetings? And then Maxine, obviously we need to be conscientious that your school year is about to start too.
So I'm available July 24th, July 25th. Pretty much the week of the 27th, August, so the two schedules.
So we're picking Saturdays.
This Saturday?
Yeah.
So the 25th and the 1st?
So August 1st and July 25th. I'm gonna lean on August 1st because it's coming up too quick, July 25th.
I have a 9-day birthday, the 25th, so the first would be good.
August 1st, you're available? You're available? Are you available? No? Are you sure? All right, and we'll check with Yolanda Escamilla.
Should we have an alternative in case?
What is the next Saturday that people might be available? The 8th?
Not till the 22nd.
The 22nd? What about you? Are you available on the 22nd? Are you available on the 22nd? Oh, somebody looks like she's traveling. Are you available on the 22nd? Oh, yeah.
If we schedule it, yes.
All right.
Pero I prefer that they have.
So 8-1. So we'll do 8-1.
Okay.
So I just want to temper expectations. We are going to have a board retreat so we can have conversations. We are going to hear from the public. You're all welcome to attend. It's probably going to be from 9 to 12. 9 to 12. It'll be here on August 1st. And we'll have the facility set up like this. And you'll receive a poll. So I'm thinking if we spend an hour on each topic, we can do 3 topics. But I don't think we can do everything under the sun. All right? So let's try to pick 3 topics we can facilitate. And I don't know if even the construction or anybody who can give us, well, how do you even do a master plan for a charter school that relates to capital programming?
Don't you already have a master plan from previous?
We have previous ones, but so how do we take a new one on? That's part of the conversation. The board, yeah.
Being part of many boards in the past, some of these topics, I think we just have to figure out the next steps. So it might just be seeing where we are in the capital plan that was, with where we're at with what was proposed in the past. And we may not be able to develop it at the retreat, but at least have a starting point in discussion.
Yes. Maxine, anything to offer? So August 1st, 9 to 12, and the executive director will be updating us on what is possible for that day. We may have an updated on EFS. We may have a discussion on the building, so we can talk about the building. I think that's an issue that I think the school, through the school process, needs to have a discussion. This is the last space that you need to have that kind of a conversation. You need to have a discussion with the 864 students or whatever and their parents.
Yeah.
Particularly the ones that are in the middle school. And so let's figure a plan for that. That's it on that item. We're gonna go to our closed session items. If there are any speakers on item 7A or B, please, any speakers on the next 2 items? Yes.
Sorry, just point where, in the last item, sorry. Are we able to propose for the next agenda, just to have an update on the EJE
public presentation that he does
Okay.
with everyone.
All right, I just wanted to clarify.
So, yeah, the procedures of the litigation and the litigation strategy, that is still a matter of closed session. All right, so going once, going twice? Okay, go ahead.
So in trying to, again, Claudia Rios Castillo, in trying to understand what is happening with the teachers union, I was reading that the state is asking for about 50% of all students to be bilingual or biliterate, and they're looking to have this started going into action by 2030 and 2040. What is EJE going to do in order to retain qualified educators, especially when sounds like 90% of your educators are asking for this fair contracting? So one of my concerns is that the state is already saying there's not enough qualified bilingual educators. There's not. They're talking about starting in high school and teaching high schoolers to prepare for these degrees. So we have maybe like 8 years before our high school students are going to be able to be then our next teachers. So what is the board's or the administration's plan to make sure that we are retaining our teachers? Because if the state is asking and seeking these bilingual educators, we're going to lose. We can't compete with the other school districts. Again, we're going to find educators because we have to, but how are we making sure that we are prioritizing the retaining of our bilingual educators when, again, the competition is fierce? So thank you.
So having heard that, we're going into closed session to conference with labor negotiator government code under government code section 54957.6. EJE negotiators Grisela Delgado, Executive Director, and Garcia Hernandez Sani, LLP, General Counsel. And the negotiations are with the employee organization Equitable Educators Association, in conference with legal counsel on existing litigation under Government Code Section 54956.9 D sub 1. Name of case, San Diego Superior Court case 25 CU 002924C. And if we have anything to report, we will return to open session. Otherwise, we are going to adjourn. So if we have anything to report, we'll return. You're welcome to wait, but we'll report. If we don't report it here, we'll report it at the beginning of the next board meeting. And we're going to go into closed session. We're going to leave the room and go into one of the classrooms. So thank you so much.